Welcome to Pro Practice, your guide to refine, enliven, and illuminate the piano repertoire. This is the new technique series, and today we'll be going over the key of C major and C minor. Often we refer to that as the parallel major and minor of each other because it's both dealing with the key of C. We're going to go through scales, arpeggios, triads, and inversions, as well as seventh chords today. Each of these in this series, since this is the first key I'll be presenting, just a little background so you know you're not getting the exact same thing in every video aside from new fingerings. I'm going to give a different way to practice the scales and arpeggios and triads and inversions in each video. So let's go ahead and get started with our C major scale. Each video I'll try to kind of play around with the order which I present these, but today we'll do the C major scale. Okay, so the first thing that we want to think about with scales is what is the purpose behind the scale. The biggest thing that I find is that you can develop strength and agility with scales. With arpeggios, you're going to develop a lot of flexibility, and with triads and inversions as well as seventh chords, not only are you going to learn more about music theory, but you're going to strengthen the structure of your hand. So let's just try right hand. What I want you to focus on, whether you're a beginning pianist or an advanced player, you can benefit from these tips. I focus on these when I practice my skills. So the first thing is you always want to focus on where the fourth finger goes. Because scales are linear, we don't need to be thinking it's going to go 1, 3, 4, 2. You know, it's not going to go out of order. It's always either going to be 1, 2, 3 or 1, 2, 3, 4 going up. On certain scales, you might start on a 3 or something, but you're still going to have the 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4 pattern. So if you can get that established in your mind, that will be beneficial. Again, if any of you are super beginners, your thumb is your first finger, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay? Here we go. Okay, pretty basic stuff. And we're going to practice in 4 octaves. The thing that I want you to do for today, the technique that I'll present, the unique technique that I'll present, is high fingers 2 different ways. Okay, so this is a great way to strengthen your fingers as well as develop more confidence in your technique. So you're going to go, the first way is a little easier. You're going to go straight up with your hand, so your fingers pointing to the sky, and then when you come down, curved. Okay, and then you go back up, 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 up. And the reason I'm not flexing my hands the whole time, this is a mistake I've made in my teaching in the past, is I just say flex your hand the whole time so that students are flexing their fingers when they're doing high fingers. I'd rather have you do a separate motion going up. So up, 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 up. First of all, that gives it a little more organization. Second of all, it's going to prevent you getting in a bad habit of flexing your other fingers while certain fingers are playing down. So have a separate motion. You go up and then you play down on a curved finger. Okay, let's try that for 4 octaves. Again, you don't see me doing this. I'm not forcing it with my wrist. It's all in the fingers. Okay? And it's a workout. You don't want to sit and do that for hours and hours. You could develop tendonitis if you prolong tension in your hand for long amounts of time. So do this. Listen to your body. It's just like working out. If you're doing lifting weights, you need to know your limits. You can push yourself a little, but you don't want to go to the point of injury. Again, your hands have such small, delicate muscles that you don't want to mess around with tendonitis. It's so hard to get rid of. I had it one time in my pinky, and it took me like 2 months to get rid of because you want to keep practicing, but the more you inflame that muscle. So just be careful. Okay, the left hand, the 4th finger will go on D. Again, the reason we're focusing on 4th finger is because it comes once per octave. Okay, so come back down. Let's try just 2 octaves. hands together. A little trick for you, I'll try to present different tricks, but this one you can use in every video, is just think where the 4s go, okay? That's so important. So 4 on D, 4 in the right hand. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say out loud 4, or I'm going to say left hand or right hand, all right? I'll just simplify it down to left or right when I'm playing my 4th finger in that hand, okay? Here we go. Left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, right, left, right, left, right, left. And you can see you kind of get into a rhythm. Left, right, or right, left, according to which direction you're going. Okay, because the 4s come fairly close. B in the right hand and 4 in the left hand, D. So it's pretty close. Okay, let's try the other type of high fingers. Okay, what I like to do for these is I like to try to stay curved. So you just go straight down into the keys. You don't have to lift up quite as high. Play this with me. Let's say you screw up and you get off, okay? A good checkpoint is just to use your thumbs, put them on the nearest C's, and keep going. You don't have to start all the way down again. Oh, see, messed up there on the G, so, okay, go to my nearest C's, put my thumbs. High fingers, no tension in your hands, just lifting. Okay, all right, so we've got the fingering, we've got our 2 methods, high fingers with straight fingers up, and you're going to do separate motions, and then high fingers with curved fingers, so it's a little more abbreviated of a motion. Okay, let's go through C minor. Just a quick reference to theory. C minor has 3 flats, but we're going to go with C minor harmonic. It's the most common of the scales. What harmonic minor means is if you break your scale down into something we call scale degrees, which is really basic. C would be 1, D would be 2. I'll do C major here. Scale degree 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, then you're back to 1. In harmonic minor is a special type of minor. Let me go through the 3 types of minor scales really quick in this first video, just so you know. So this is natural minor. C minor has 3 flats. So you have B flat, E flat, and A flat, right? So this would be a C natural minor scale. This is C harmonic minor. We're going to raise our 7th scale degree. So that B flat, we're going to raise up to B natural. And I'll show you why in a minute. Okay, and then C melodic minor is you raise 6 and 7 going up. So we're going to raise our A flat and our B flat to A natural, B natural, and then you do natural minor coming the way down. So this is a harmonic minor scale. Does that make sense? Raise, raise, lower, lower. Okay? We're just going to focus on harmonic for this video series, this technique series. Okay, so here we go. 4 on the B. Okay, and maybe I'll just do the curved. Let's just do 2 octaves. Okay, left hand 2 octaves. 4 on the D. Again, my arm is staying still. My wrist is staying still for the most part. It's just being flexible. Okay, now let's try hands together. And for the more advanced players, I'm going to go faster here, okay? one, really clean releases. So you don't want to hold things through. You want each one to slightly overlap. And in an upcoming video, I'll do this overlapping technique for all of these and show you on a different scale how to do it specifically. But for now, just try to overlap it a tiny bit, but then cleanly release it. Okay? Now go through that 4 octaves up and down. Again, thumbs at the nearest C for a rescue point. Let's move on to arpeggios. Okay, C major. A lot of people debate this. I don't want this to be a war in the comments section, but what I'm going over is what I'm referring to as left-hand fingering. Right-hand fingering is easy. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 5, 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1. Left hand, you can use one of 2 things. I'm going to show you the way I like it more. I like 5, 4, 2, 1, 4, 2, 1, 4, 2, 1, 4, 2, 1. Okay? A lot of people like 5, 3, 2, 1 in the left hand. I think it's a little further to travel on your crossovers, which is, well, I guess that's not true. I think it's a little, sorry, I meant to say it's a little more spread out in the hand. 3, 2, 1, 4, 2, 1, you can be a little more straight on, and it is a little more relaxed there. Okay, so that's 3, 2, 1 kind of puts you in a little more awkward of a position, I think. But a lot of people feel really flimsy in their 5 and 4. So you can take one of 2 approaches. You can say, I'm really going to get good with my 5 to 4, or hey, I want to just get my arpeggios really good. Maybe I'll stick with the 5, 3, 2, 1. It's up to you, whatever you like better. All right, let's go ahead and get started. The first thing that I want you to do, we're going to keep doing high fingers for this whole video. When you go up and over, just a little bit of a wrist lift, and then almost tilt it this way a little bit, and tilt under a little bit. So your wrist, try this exercise. Put your 3 down as if it's a nail, and then try spinning it around your hand. Okay, so you're going to nail it down to your hand, and then that's the kind of freedom that you want in your wrist. It wants to be like jelly or a jellyfish. You know, they have no bone structure at all. You want to feel like your hands have no bones in them when you play these, because that's going to give you the flexibility. Like, I've been working on Chopin Grand Polonaise lately, and at the end, there was a couple little things in there, but you got to be really loose and relaxed in order to get it. So at this very first video, this is just basic stuff, but even when you're doing high fingers, connect it. I don't care if you have tiny hands or big hands, you got to connect it. Okay? And you can feel your weight transfer up to that. Now this is easier coming down. Just feel your hand fold over like an accordion. Okay? Hands together. Again, you can see I'm totally relaxed. All the weight is coming from my arm, which is connected to my back and my core. So you want to just feel it very fluid from the wrist down, and the meat is coming from your upper body. Okay, let's try it a little faster. Still notice I'm lifting my fingers pretty high. Okay, now we can try close fingers if you'd like. Helps a little bit. Let's try minor. Okay, so let's try that nice and slow. I had a little mistake there. Okay, let's try it eyes closed. they said, I think this might just be a rumor, but they said Rubinstein got so much more accurate when he started losing his eyesight at the end of his life, because he no longer had to worry about chasing women. So it's a funny little joke, I thought. So all right, let's move on to our triads and our seventh chords. Okay, the first thing today, I just want to start out basic with triads. I don't want to give you any fancy way to practice it. Okay, if you're really new to it, you can do this little trick. Don't do this for long, but you can, if you're having a hard time just pushing fingers down, you can put a pencil underneath 2 and 4. Again, I don't promote this. I don't think it's really that great. But if you're just trying to get your fingers to play a chord, that can just help very, 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 very first day. Okay, let's try this. A triad is you take your root of the chord, which is C, and then you add a third above it. Okay, now, an inversion, you might want to look at this overhead cam here to see how inversions work. Okay, so an inversion, you just simply take the bottom note and you put it on top. So this is still a C major chord. It doesn't change to an E major chord because E's on the bottom. This would be an E major chord. Okay, don't worry if you don't know that, okay? But all I did is I took a C major chord and I just put the C on the top. I'm just reordering it. That's like basically what an inversion is. It's a reordering of the chord. Okay, so this is first inversion because it's just one up from C. And then if I take the E and I put it on top, that's my second inversion chord. And if I put the G back on top, I'm back to the initial one, or what we call root position. So root position, 5-3-1. Okay, don't move on from this video until you've got this fingering good. It will help you a lot. 5-2-1, 5-3-1, 5-3-1. So 5-3-1 is for everyone except first inversion in the right hand. 5-3-1, 5-2-1, 5-3-1, 5-3-1. And as you get better, just try to lazily go into the next one while still maintaining good structure. What I mean by lazy is you relax your wrist and you let the weight naturally fall into the key. I'm not saying you got to smack the key like that. Naturally fall into the key. Okay, let's try left hand. Left hand's a little different. The same exact notes of root, first inversion, second inversion, root, but the fingering's a little different because our hands are mirror images of each other. Second inversion is going to have the 2 in it. So it's going to go 5-3-1, 5-3-1, 5-2-1, 5-3-1. Okay. Okay. Okay, and you take as long as you need to get that good. And when you get better and faster, I don't want it to become sloppy. You know, like that. I want it to be just as strong. I'm going to show you plenty of techniques throughout these videos. Today I just wanted to introduce the fingering and the natural falling weight. You can think of the high fingers being applied a little bit here. You just naturally fall. But I don't want you to practice swatting the keys too much. Just feel it naturally fall. Let's try minor. Okay? All right. We're moving on. Seventh chords. Okay, so this is going to help a lot with jazz. I am not a jazzer. I know some about jazz. I can read a lead sheet for the most part, nothing too crazy. But I want to introduce how a classical pianist could learn their seventh chords very easy. Seventh chords are going to have 3 inversions because they add an extra note. So rather than just doing my C major, I'm going to have a 4th note. Okay? Those are the 5 types of 7th chords we're going to go over today. Okay? The way you find your first one, which is a major 7 chord, take C, E, G, add a C on the top. That's just a triad with an octave on top, okay? But then I want you to just step a half step down, C to B natural. Okay, so your notes for your C major 7 chord are C, E, G, B. Okay, if you have to spend a whole week just going through and identifying these in root position, go for it. You have this video forever, all right? So let's try left hand, C, E, G, B, okay? All right, let's go to our next one. From major 7, we're going to go over all the inversions in a minute. So I just want to introduce all these chords. To make something a dominant 7th chord, what we call dominant 7, you just step down a half step from major. Okay, so it's a major triad, with a B flat on top, C, E, G, B flat, or you can think, if you're trying to just immediately go to dominant, you can think it's a whole step down from the root. So C, E, G, whole step down from C is B flat. Okay, so we have major, C, E, G, B, dominant, C, E, G, B flat. Okay, to get minor, we take a minor triad, which we already did. Okay, and we add a whole step below the root up top. Or you could think of it, here's your dominant chord, you just step down a half step on your third. So dominant is C, E, G, B flat. To find minor, you go C, E flat, G, B flat. Okay, from there, you're going to step your fifth down to G flat. So you have C, E flat, G flat, B flat. That's my favorite chord. I love the sound of this chord. That is called a half diminished chord. And then to find your last one, which we call a fully diminished chord, you step down a half step from on the top on your seventh from half diminished. Okay, let's go over all those again. So start with this. Okay, step down a half step. This is major 7. Step down a half step on top, dominant 7. Step down a half step on your third. This is minor 7. Okay, step down a half step on your fifth. This is half diminished 7. Step down a half step on top. That's your fully diminished 7. Okay, let's try it in left hand. Third, fifth, 7th. Okay, let's try them hands together. Major 7. Say it out loud with me. I know it sounds silly, but even if you're not at the piano right now, just say this. Get it in your head. Major 7. Dominant 7. Minor 7. Half diminished 7. Fully diminished 7. All right, let's do the inversions. Again, today we're just focusing on natural weight. I just want you to get used to these. It's our very first technique series video. All right, here we go. Put the bottom on top, so we have E, G, B, C. Okay, and I want you to roll these like I'm doing to start with. This will help a lot. Okay, next one, you're going to put E on top. G, B, C, E. B, C, E, G together. That's back to our root position. Okay, go back down. I guess that's our trick for the day, rolling your chords. You can do it with triads as well. Okay, so you got high fingers for scales and arpeggios, rolling for our chords. All right, let's try left hand. Or if you want to roll down. Okay, hands together. You can separate them an octave if it helps. Go slowly through the rest of these just so you have, I'm just going to do it hands alone so you can really focus on the overhead cam if you have questions about which notes to do, okay? This is our, sorry, I skipped dominant. Here we go, dominant 7. Minor 7. Here we go. Half diminished 7. You got that G flat in there. Diminished 7. One thing that you can do is you can kind of notice the black and white shapes of these as you go along. So like you notice whites on on both edges, blacks in the middle. 2 blacks on bottom, 2 whites on top. The blacks on this one surround the whites, and then 2 whites, 2 blacks. You can kind of notice those patterns, okay? Now, just to check yourself, let's go through these hands together. This is our major 7. Go through the rest of this stuff from this video just to recap. Triads and inversions. Here we go. I'm an idiot. This is my first video. I forgot to do 2 of the triads. I'm so sorry. We're just going to do them right now. Okay, here we go. From minor, we just step down to get our diminished triad. And then to find augmented, we slide back to major and we raise it. So you have C, E, G sharp. Okay, so let's try all of them. Okay, so here we go. C major, C, E, G, C minor, C, E, G, C, E flat, G natural for C minor, C, E flat, G natural. Diminished, C, E flat, G flat. So you just flat the top. I'll go slow on this since I didn't do it earlier. Okay, now slide back to major and sharp the 5th. C, E, G sharp for augmented. Okay, and I would still keep the same fingering for all of these. Part. If you want to substitute a 3 or a 2 every now and again, if it's super awkward for your hands, that's fine. Okay? So those are your triads and inversions. I'll go through those fast now. Nice and strong. Okay, let's do arpeggios. We're going in reverse order. So let's do C major, C minor. You don't need to do like C diminished or C augmented arpeggios. You can do, if you'd like, 7th chord arpeggios. If you're a really advanced player, you could do 7th chord arpeggios. Those are real tough, you know. I mean, I have to practice them to make them sound good because they're pretty high maintenance, okay? Let's just do our basic major and minor triads. Okay, let's do our major and our harmonic minor scale. All right, so that concludes our first video from the Pro Practice Technique series. If any of you have any questions, my email is josh@joshwrightpiano.com. Thank you so much for your support of Pro Practice.